Okay, guys, in this training, we're going to be going through the art of skill acquisition. Okay, so it's not about just adding more weight to the bar, adding more reps, adding more complexities, more intensities. We have to master the movement first. I've been a little bit more conservative at the beginning for like exponential growth at the back end. Like if you don't do it this way, if you just go at it the traditional way where, 80% of the people, no, actually, sorry, 95% of the people in the gym train, you'll hit a point, you'll hit a plateau, and then as you plateau, you'll either do one or two things. You'll have to take your medicine and come back and focus on this anyway, or you will put your head in the sand and you will speed up the movement, you will sacrifice form even further, and you will hurt yourself to which degree is an open-ended question, and not something that I would advise from someone who's hurt myself training, and luckily not too badly. But this was something that I learned pretty quickly from pinging my back a couple of times. So before I increase anything and what I'm doing in terms of the way that I'm approaching my exercises, before I add any further intensity or any more load to the bar, what questions am I asking myself? Was the exercise executed with great form? You can video yourself and analyze yourself, or you can send it to me and I will scrutinize it for you as well. If you train at home, there's no excuse. You should be videoing everything. If you train in a gym and you're a bit worried about recording yourself, look, I can understand that to a certain extent, but at the same time, look, you're trying to get better at something. You're paying somebody to help you. I would just be trying to get the most from it. Like I don't really care what other people think, to be perfectly honest. But that is me, and I've been doing it for a while, so maybe that comes with a bit of experience and a bit of time. Did I adhere precisely to the exercise tempo? Am I going for a 3 second negative on the way down, or a 3 second lowering, as in pulling the dumbbells down, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 1 second pause, press up, and then no rest at the top, coming back down again. The exercise tempo is written for a number of reasons to try and guarantee form in some regard. The more that you stick to these strict tempos, there's pretty much no likelihood whatsoever, unless you're doing something stupid, that you'll hurt yourself. Because when you slow things down, there is an awareness of, does something not feel right? You'll notice it a lot quicker, and you'll have an opportunity to make an intervention a lot quicker than if you just drop something. You're in a bad position, and then something pings, something pulls, something pangs, and you end up in a predicament you didn't need to put yourself in, because there is something there to safeguard this. The exercise tempo is there for a reason. That, and I can tell you how long your program should take you, because if every repetition takes 5 seconds, 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, 1 second come back up, that's a 5 second movement, and no rest at the top. And then there's 10 repetitions in that set maximum. Then that's 50 seconds for that set. Then it's a 30-second break. Then it's another 10 repetitions. Then it's a minute and a half rest, or a minute 15 rest, or whatever it is, from your last, from that superset, for example. Now, that's okay, for 4 sets, that's a 15-minute set. So if I give you two supersets, and then a giant set, that all those workouts should be done within an hour. If they're taking you longer than an hour, then you're either not adhering to the tempo, or you're not following the program in some regard. You're doing something on your own, which isn't the intent. The program is there, the tempo is there, the rest periods are there for a reason, to be followed to the letter of the law. That is why they're there. Another question to ask yourself: can I distinctly feel the target muscle working throughout the movement? When I'm doing a bicep curl, do I feel my biceps working? When I'm doing a chest press, do I feel my chest working? When I'm doing a shoulder press, after it, do I feel like, oh, geez, my shoulders are on fire? Cool. That's a pretty good indicator that, that we were on the right track there. There wasn't any other pain involved. The pain that I'm getting, or the discomfort I'm getting, is muscular rather than joint kind of discomfort. Like, oh, that doesn't feel great. The difference between that and, holy shit, my shoulders are on fire, are two completely different things, okay? And then asking ourselves the question: did I maintain complete control and stability through every phase of the movement? Like, did I bring it down following that exercise tempo, or did I just drop it and bounce out at the bottom? Because if you remember watching the exercise tempo video, if the eccentric is 50% of the movement, 50% is lowering, 50% is raising. If the eccentric is 50% of the movement and you just let that drop, that's 50% of that repetition you've just lost, because you haven't controlled that whatsoever. Then, if you've just let it collide at the bottom and it's bounced, that bounce is momentum, and then you've caught it here, maybe 25% of the way up on this part of the movement. So from or 20% of the way up on, you've lost 20% of the way up here. So then, from a whole repetition that offered 100% in terms of stimulation, you have got 30%. How inefficient is that? Rather than if you'd have just went controlled down, pause, and then press up with control, and the actual muscles that you're targeting contributing to the movement solely. from an efficiency standpoint, surely that should make sense. I can get 100% from something, or I can get 30% from something. 10 repetitions of 100% or 10 repetitions of 30% should be pretty clear to see what's going to be better, what's going to be more efficient, what's going to be a better use of your time. And flawless technique is a non-negotiable foundation. That should be your target, flawless technique. At the end of the day, when I scrutinise my own technique all the time, I'm still thinking that could be a wee bit better, that could be a wee bit better. But that's a growth mentality. That's looking to get the most from every single session. You can very well do the same, because if you add intensity without that technique mastery, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for an injury, and something that's going to hold you back further, like so much more than just being a little bit more cautious in the beginning stages, and getting really, really good at something first is so much more beneficial than just throwing shit at the wall and going, hey, I'm just going to go for it. Because at some point you're going to hurt yourself. If you hurt yourself really badly, you might never be back in the gym. That might be through injury, or that might be just it knocks your confidence that much that you're just like, no, I'm not going to do that. So strength is a skill. You have to learn the skill. You have to get really, really good at the skill. We're not going into the gym trying to expend calories, trying to sweat. Like, that is not the intent. We're trying to get really good at something. We're trying to progress. We're trying to challenge specific musculature in a specific way to get a specific adaptation. That is what we're looking for. Everything that we're doing is deliberate and precise, and it should be treated as such. Okay, guys?